Yates, then Wycombe at home. Mark, you said on Friday after the game you wanted answers. Do you think you've got them, or will you only find out when they go over the white lines?
Yeah, I think I was. Managers are emotional after games, and their feelings are high, and I was massively disappointed, and I still am now. But we've cleared the air on a few things. We've watched the DVD and had a look at one or two things that 90 minutes of poor quality, poor energy, poor decision making. We got exactly what we deserved the other night, and I'll be looking for the boys to put that right on Wednesday.
And how have you gone about getting the answers? Is it you and your backroom team finding those answers, or can the players play a part in a sort of a two-way process?
I think it was important. I watched the game on early hours of Saturday morning when I got home. I had him in on Saturday morning for an hour by myself. My staff were all going to games, but obviously I got change of plan with the weather, so I just had the players in. Scott Brown had a day after he deserved. The rest didn't, and we did a bit. We had a chat, and then we carried on yesterday with the whole group and the staff and the whole squad, and we watched. We had to watch the game. The players had to watch the drivel that they'd given us, and only sometimes when you see that, sometimes you're not at the best of games, but what was dished up the other night was pretty pathetic in terms of quality, in terms of know-how and effort, and I think a few of them were a bit embarrassed by watching the DVD yesterday. And sometimes, listen, I want them on my side. I need them to go again, and I know they will, but sometimes they've just got to accept just me saying what I think. Me showing them exactly where they've gone wrong, and hopefully they can learn from that, because they really needed to see that one for me. I don't get a cup of tea off Jason very often, so I thought I'd make sure I got that. And I think hopefully we can come out with we trained properly yesterday after watching the DVD, and we're back to square one today, and knowing that we're third in the table, we're sitting in a healthy position, and we can get back to work for preparing for Wycombe on Wednesday.
Halfway through the season at this point, what would be your half-term report?
I think there's 21 other clubs who'd like to be in our position, but we still know there's more to come from the group. There's more consistency, more performances, and hopefully more wins.
Are changes on your mind, or is it one of those games where perhaps
I could make none, or I could make 7. It's one of them, and I've got an idea. I've got an idea where I'm going. After the game, after we watched the DVD yesterday, I asked the question: who thinks they deserve out of the team? Who deserves to be playing? I didn't get many answers on the back of that performance. But that said, you rarely make 11 changes. You rarely just. I trust them, but we've let ourselves down over the last month in terms of a couple of away performances, and whatever I do, no one can have any qualms. What I do on Wednesday, whatever team I pick, the boys who don't get are not involved just have to get on with it and make sure when their turn comes around next, they're better than they were the other night. And the good thing for them is, we've got 3 games in a very short space of time, so we'll have a slight rethink, and we'll go from there.
And with the squad you've got, I'm sure you've got people chomping at the bit to come in.
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah, so that's good for me, and not the best for one or two who didn't have the best of games. So I won't make rash decisions, and one bad performance and it's out. If I think people need to come out and a couple need to come in, I'll do that. I haven't quite finalised it, but I will do in the next sort of hour with my staff.
And as you say, with the schedule, presumably there'd be 1 or 2 changes over the course of the festive season anyway.
Yeah. Whatever I do, it won't be a panic move whether I play the same 11 or whether I make 6, 7 changes. It won't be a panic. It'll be for a reaction, for somebody deserving the chance, and somebody playing their way out of their team, and you know, that happens over the course of a season. You have highs and lows, and you just got to. We do try and keep them pretty level, but I think the other night was as bad as we've been, and I think it was important that players saw the DVD and hopefully learned from it.
I've not even mentioned Wycombe yet. Is this one of those games though that you'll concentrate more on yourselves than the back then, perhaps?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
And I'm just looking at them, obviously a really bad start, but an improving side, unbeaten in 5, and Gareth Ainsworth doing a great job.
He's picked them up. They always had some good players. As I say, they're a decent side, and some young players, some exciting players that we've got to be careful of. But my concern is my team performing. There's no point worrying about what the opposition do if we don't turn up in the first place like we didn't on Friday. So it's about us. It's about us preparing properly and making sure come Wednesday lunchtime that we're ready to go.
And how big a difference can being at home make?
I think we've got one of the best records in the league, if not the best records at home. We've just got to maintain that. But like I said, we've got to be a damn sight better than we were the other night.
Injuries? How's the squad?
We've got one or two bumps and bruises, but I think everybody should be available.
Thank you, good luck.
Like, you're joint top of the clean sheet list, which is obviously pleasing, but the goal difference is that I think it's 0. So if you ask the players why they think you either seem to keep a clean sheet or...
We've had a chat, John, and that is a disappointing statistic, if you like. I'm not a big one for stats, to be honest, but even though talking to Neil this morning on the way in, it's almost like worth a point to some of the other teams. So it's something we've got to sort out. But I think all we've got to worry about at the moment is our next performance and the performance after that. And if we do that, then we can get back on track.
Yeah, none of them sort of said they definitely deserve to be in the team, but are they giving you the right answers when you're asking them other questions?
Like I said, we'll see. We'll see. I think the biggest thing was seeing the DVD and how poor they were, and some of the things that we did, just totally unlike us, and you can't do that. It was a collective. I think the only 2 or 3 that came out of the performance with any sort of credit was Scotty Brown, who was outstanding. Darren Carter worked his socks off and tracked and runners and did everything expected, and Russ Penn did all right. But apart from that, there wasn't anyone who could hold their hands up and be proud of what they dished up for the travelling supporters.
Yeah, both the players we spoke to after the game said that certain types of teams seem to cause you problems, and have you noticed that any sort of themes there with the style of play that you find difficult to deal with?
No, I don't think so. I thought we were just totally inept, and we've got to be better.
Was it worse than you remembered when you watched the DVD, or just as bad?
It was as bad, yeah.
Yeah. I know you've got important games, 2 games before the January window opens, but do you expect things to happen quickly when the window's open?
Perhaps. It just depends. Literally, just depends. I've got to chat with the chairman just to see where we're going exactly. I've got 1 or 2 in mind straight away. The other night probably reinforced that, so we'll see.
Yeah, and with regard to team selection for Wednesday, are there players who haven't really been getting a look in much now who will feel they've got a good chance of getting a...
I'm sure they do. I also asked that question yesterday. Who thinks they should be playing? And I was hoping that all the subs would stick their hands up, and rightly they did. So whatever team I make it won't be a panic move. It won't be for anything other than to pick a team that's going to win. I've said all along that I've got a squad capable. The team the other night had been on a decent little run, but on the other night we let ourselves down massively. And like I said before, no one can complain if they're not in the team on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, and weather-wise, if the forecast's right, you're confident it's going to
be
okay?
I've spoken to Terry this morning. Obviously it's torrential and it's not doing anybody any favours, but he's confident with the weather forecasts that if it comes down as said, then we should be okay for Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers.
Right.